because of the shift, right? So D is the right option. Okay, next concept is elasticity of demand. What is elasticity? Elasticity refers to the responsiveness of the change in the demand due to change in price. We say, we little earlier discussed, when the price increases, demand decreases, and vice versa, right? When price decreases, demand increases, right? But we did not say that how much increase in the price would lead to how much decrease in the demand, or vice versa. So this change in the demand because of the change in price is known as the degree of the change in demand due to the change in price is known as elasticity of demand. You know, elasticity, when you are stretching a rubber band, so it keep on stretching, and when you leave it, it comes back. This is called as, we say, this rubber is elastic. Similarly, when we increase the price, some goods will the demand for some goods will decrease too much, and in other case, if we increase the price of one good, so the demand may not decrease that much. So this is called as elasticity of demand. Like, for example, let me give you an example, right? If the price of a salt that you use in cooking the meal, right, if that price becomes you can say double, right? Previously it was, let's suppose, 1 pound per packet, and now it is 2 pound per packet. So what will you do? You will reduce the quantity to 0 since the price is double? No. Or if the salt becomes free, so what will you do? You will pour too much salt in your meal? Obviously not, right? So means in this case we say the demand is very less responsive, right? Very less. You may not change it. But in other case, when the price of laptop decreases, people increases their demand. So you see, for different types of goods, we have different types of reaction of demand. So that is why we will study elasticity of demand. So there are two types of price elasticity and cross elasticity. The formula for the price elasticity of demand is that percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. So we will calculate that how much percentage change comes in the demand and because of the percentage change in the price. Let's suppose price of anything change by 5%, right, and due to that the demand is changed by 6%, right. Let's suppose price increased of any product by 5% and the demand decreased by 6%. So we'll divide these two and we'll get the answer. So but just one point to remember, that if the answer is negative, so we ignore the minus sign. Why ignore it? Because there's a, by default there is a negative relationship between price and demand. Clear? So what will happen? There are 3 degrees of elasticities. One is called as inelastic or relatively inelastic, and second is unitary elastic, and third is relatively elastic. Relatively inelastic means when the response, now you can write this definition, when the degree of reaction of demand is less than the percentage change in the price. Or you can write when there is a small percentage change in demand because of a big percentage change in price, in simple words. Like price is changed by 10% and demand is changed by, let's suppose, 2%, right. So in this case what will happen? The answer will be less than 1. How? You see, change in quantity demand is 2% and change in price is 10%. So what is the answer? 0.2, right. It's just an example. So answer will be always less than 1. Like example of tea and salt, with the price keep on increasing, as I mentioned the example of salt earlier. So if the prices of these products keep on increasing, so we may not decrease the demand that much, right. Or similarly the prices becomes too low, so will not tea, let's suppose price of the tea becomes, you can say, 50% reduction, 80% reduced, so we will not we will not take too much tea in per day, right? Let's suppose we are taking 1 cup of tea, so we will not take 10 cup of tea if the price is reduced to 80% or 90%, right? So it means there will be a change, but there will be very minor changes in it. Unitary elastic means when the change in the price and percentage change in the price and percentage change in the demand is exactly the same. Price changed by 5% and demand also changed by 5%. So answer will be 1. So it can be anything, because there is no specific product which has exactly the one unitary elastic, one elasticity, but if it happens in any case, so we will call it as unit elastic. And the third is just opposite to the first one, that is relatively elastic. When the percentage change in the quantity demand is less than the percentage change in price, sorry, when the percentage change in quantity demand is more than the percentage change in price. Like price is changed by 10% and demand is changed by 20%, right? Or let's suppose price is changed by 5% and demand is changed by 8%. Like we reduce the price of any product by 5% and in response to that the overall demand increased by 8%. So you see the answer is greater than 1, right? It's I think 3 3 35 6, yeah. So it is something like the 1.6, right? So like camera, air travels, laptops, mobile phones, you see the companies used to decrease the tariffs, call rates just by points something, and the demand increased too much. So that is the price elasticity of demand. So what happens, suppose you are currently selling a product at a price $20 with a resulting demand of 500,000 units per annum. A marketing manager has suggested to drop the price to 19. You see, now you see there is a reduction of $1 and claim that the demand will increase to 550,000 units. So what is the formula? Hurry up, what is the formula? You see, keep on writing down the things, keep on noting down the things, jot down the basic points, right? It was percentage change in quantity demanded, right, and divided by percentage change in price, right? So first, what is the percentage change in quantity demanded? There is change of 1. So 1 divided by 20 is equal to what? Sorry, what is the percentage change in quantity demanded? How much change? 50,000. So 50,000 divided by, how to calculate? This is a change. 50,000 is a change, it's not percent. So we need to calculate the percent. So how to calculate the percent? So 50,000 divided by 500 multiplied by 100. Sorry, 50,000 divided by 500,000 multiplied by 100, it's give you 10%, right? Here. And then divide by percentage change in price. So how much change in price? From 20 to 19. So what is the change? 1. So what is the percentage change? So 1 divided by 20 multiplied by 100, that gives us 5%. So answer is what? Greater than 1. Answer is what? Answer is 2, that is greater than 1. Clear? So when it is greater than 1, what is it? More elastic or relatively elastic or relatively inelastic? Relatively elastic, right? So these are the things that you need to keep you can say remembering, otherwise, because such type of questions will come in the exams, right? Like if you will be given different kind of like AC numbers, and then the answer will be like, is it less elastic, or you can say inelastic, or relatively more elastic, or unitary elastic. So you need to make this simple calculation to arrive at a right answer, right? So do little practice, and if there is still confusions, you can write it to me, I'll explain. Okay, PLC produces a popular product F1200, currently sells how many units? this is the quantity demand, right? 15,000 units of his product each year at the price 55 pound per unit. The company now looking to whether it could make higher profit by increasing the sales price. Now they want to decide, they are deciding whether to increase the price or decrease the whether the increase in the price will increase the profit. So market research indicated that if they increases the price from 50 to 60 unit, what will happen? The demand would fall from what 15,000 to 12,000 unit. So is it a good decision or a bad decision? Now it's up to you, right? Calculate it. How will you calculate? Calculate the percentage change in the price and percentage change in the demand, then percentage change demand and percentage change in the price. You can calculate the elasticity. If answer is greater than 1, so then it is better to not to increase the price because it will reduce the revenue. Or in other words, you can also do in this way: 55 multiplied by 15,000 and 60 multiplied by 12,000, which one is the greater? So you can get the result as well. But anyway, you need to calculate the price elasticity. That is the method mentioned previously. Now remember, this will help you in your making the decisions of the last question. If the total revenue increases following a price cut, then the demand is price elastic, or you can say what we call it as relatively elastic, right? You see, if in short you can write it like this: if there is a more elastic or relatively elastic demand, then a reduction in the price will increase your revenue. What does it mean? If whatever you are selling, if it has a relatively elastic demand, so it is good for you to reduce the price. It will generate bigger change in the demand and ultimately your revenue will increase. Like in case obviously laptops, etc., and mobiles, that's why the companies are reducing the prices, because in their reduction in the price is very small, by 5% or 2% or 5%, and their increase in the demand is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, and ultimately their revenue increases. And this is just a vice versa. Our total revenue increases following the price rise, then the price is inelastic. If your price, if the demand of your product is less elastic or inelastic or relatively inelastic, then it is better to increase the price to increase the revenue. Like in case if you are selling salt, so if you keep on increasing the prices by 10%, the demand may reduce by 1% or 0.5%, right? Or if you keep on increasing the price of a tea, so by 10, 20, 30%, the demand may reduce by 2, 3, 4, 5%, right? So ultimately your revenue increase. So this is the relationship of price elasticity of demand and to the revenue. So being an entrepreneur, being an accountant, being a marketer, the company, you must understand this, that whether the product that you are selling is relatively inelastic or relatively elastic, whether it's elastic or not elastic, means inelastic. So because if you change the price, so you need to know whether it will be generating more revenue or less, and if there is no change, then it is called as unitary elastic. Okay, now there are various factors